Hey guys, it's the Tomato here, or Josh, as I suppose you can call me. Um, First commentary, obviously, so don't hate too much, but I've had a few requests and everything about my gear setup and sort of how I train range and whatnot, so I figured I'd sort of do a commentary as it's pretty much the easiest way to explain everything. So, yeah, don't hate with the first commentary and everything, and hopefully I cover everything you want to know, or otherwise, just put a question and I'll do my best. Um, Rightio. Firstly, we got auras. I use reverence as it helps the prayer boost and sort of prayer pots heal a bit more, and the prayer drain is slowed. Obviously, if you've got greater, supreme, and master reverence, I think it is, then obviously use those. I don't know of any other auras that would be that useful, but correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, I use Void as the armor. Got the Void helm, deflector, robe, and gloves. The deflector can replace either the body, the legs, or the gloves, but since the body gives the biggest bonus, I'm better off. Oh, just let me do this. There we go. Since the body gives the greatest range bonus, I'm better off swapping the deflector for the armor to chestplate. Obviously, if you don't have the deflector, just use the and you have to wear the void body, then I guess a Zami book, sorry, would be the best, and an unholy book for the prayer bonus, and it gives good range attack as far as I'm aware. I use the amulet of ranging instead of a fury. Gives a better prayer bonus, not a prayer bonus, sorry. The ranging gives a better range bonus as opposed to the fury, which has more prayer bonus but less range attack. Obviously, red chins. They've crashed a lot lately, so I decided to go for 200 mil when I saw they were so cheap. Grey chins, I'm not sure on the price of those, but if you're looking to do a lot of range and the red chin prices are too much, obviously greys should do the trick. But yeah, bots brought them down a hell of a lot, so that was quite handy. Glaven boots. If you don't have those, then obviously ranger boots are the best, next best, and then after that, snakeskin boots. Not sure on the stat difference, but obviously Glavens are the best. For the ring, Archer's Ring imbued. If you haven't done mobilizing armies, then just an Archer's Ring would do the trick. But obviously the time taken to get the imbued might not be worth it, so you might just opt for the normal Archer's Ring. Completionist Cape. Obviously, not everyone's going to have that, but obviously I'm going to use it. And if you don't, I guess the ranking of capes to use would, well, Completionist Cape first, and then go for your max cape, and after that, I guess you might want to use a Soul Wars cape for the prayer bonus. What else is there? An Ava's Alerter, Accumulator. Haven't used one of those for a while because that's all involved in the Completionist cape, but I guess you'd use those. But yeah, it's sorry if you're sort of a lower level and some of the stuff you can't wear. I mean, obviously, that like I say, the Completionist cape is a bit extreme to put as a needed requirement. I'll just put that there. But yeah, like I said, I'll just go over what I use. Prayer, I use rigour all the time. It's the dungeoneering reward that you unlock. Not sure how much it costs, but it's effectively the range version of piety. So it's obviously 20% bonus is real handy. Oh, next thing I'll go on to. With the select left click option, I use follower details. It's just easier, one click and you can see the time. And I've also got used to using all these. I never used to, but they've become quite handy. So say, just to fill the inventory, I just call it using that one, and then take Beast of Burden, and it just fills you up. Renew, specs for itself when you yaks down. Sorry, I'll just top this up. and dismiss. Usually when your yak is empty, so you've got no more prayer pots in your yak, you'll want to summon the Steel Titan. Obviously with so many skeletons on you it can be hard, so usually I'll just run over here, just spam click dismiss, and you just click 1 or click yes and the yak disappears, and then provided you got summoning points, and you just summon your Steel Titan, and that usually works quite well. Obviously not with the yak, but when I've got the Steel Titan summoned, well, there's your special move bar, but you just click this here to use the special attack, and if your Titan's just standing there doing nothing, then use this to attack and attack skeleton or whatever. So that works out quite well. What else should I look at? Alrighty. One question I always sort of asked before I got into range was which of short or medium fuse was the best to use. Sort of looked around a bit and asked a few friends, and the general consensus was that short fuse, obviously, well, I thought short fuse would be throwing it faster, but it appears that it's pretty much the same setup as any weapon. This is accurate, medium is rapid, and obviously this is long range. So with rapid, obviously, that speaks for itself in that you're firing them out faster, whereas accurate hits more, but it's a lot slower, or not a lot slower, but noticeably slower. So I use medium because I'm not too fussed about the cost of it. I prefer sort of greater XP per hour, even if it's using more chins for less experience per chin. Whereas if you want to save a bit of money and you're not too fussed about the experience per hour, short fuse, you will get more experience per chin. I can't say how much, but yeah, that's what I've noticed. Overload. If you don't use overload, I guess extreme range or then range pots will do the trick. I do suggest to use sort of stat enhancing potion, I guess you'd call it. It does make a lot of difference. Right, I was going to do it on a different video, but I'll just, even though I'm obviously not near the end of my trip, I'll bank just to sort of show you how that's all done, get it all into one video. Okay, so usually I will bank when I have no more overloads or renewals left, and then I will generally wait till my prayer sort of gets to about 100 to make the most of it, and then I'll just tally. Home tally. Okay, wait for it to load. When I get home, I use this as time to sort of refresh my summoning points, top up my prayer, and have a random event usually. Right, then we're back. So yeah, like I was saying, so you top up the prayer, and I guess if you want, you could use the Varric teleport and use a gnome tree to get to the gnome village and then use the gliders, but this is the way I do it. And also, I'm not sure how people go about usually getting to Apatol, but the gliders, I would say, are by far one of the easier and faster ways to go about it. Alrighty, so we just bank. Right. And usually I'd clear, say, the empty sort of miscellaneous pots and everything, so I'll just assume that I've come back from a trip with an empty inventory. Dismiss, kill my familiar. Right. So starting from scratch, when I bank, I grab a Steel Titan and 3 yak pouches. Fill my inventory of prayer pots. Summon a yak. I pretty much, when I take a yak, I just fill her up with prayer pots. Right, so there we go. Now we've got the Super Restore. The Super Restore I use, well, obviously it gives the prayer, but I also use it to boost the summoning potion, summoning points, sorry. when I go to refresh my familiar. So put that there, there. Overloads. I use 5 overload flasks and 5 renewal flasks. Each flask generally lasts at least half an hour, depending on the delay between sort of redosing, I guess you'd say. And then 3 pre-pots to top. Oh, sorry. Red chins. I pretty much go on the basis that each trip is going to last 4 hours, and throwing about 2k chins per hour. Obviously that would be 8k, but I generally take 9k in case the trip goes a bit longer than expected. So I will just grab another 2k. Put those on. Grab another prayer potion, and we're off. Right, so obviously with here, the rigour, use that for getting through the dungeon unharmed, not attracting skeletons until you get to your spot. Just use a glider. So yeah, this is the way I use, like I said, the Varric one you can also use, teleporting to Varric and then using the gnome stronghold, as in the spirit tree, sorry, or I think, yeah, whatever they're called. So go down 1 ladder, down the next ladder, then run east to this part, and you're looking for Dairo, whatever you want to call him. So travel with him. Now travel with this wader. And travel with Lunder. Chuck on your rigour. Run west to the dungeon symbol. And right, now we run through. Right, a lot of people use this area here. I think I got 99 range somewhere around here. But I carry this, I mean, there's nothing wrong with there, I don't think, but the spot I use is further along. As well as back there, people also use that spot there. If we carry on, just the red dot at the point. Okay, so you see that the bones spawn. I stand 1 spot north, and now put on protect from melee. Use the Excalibur to heal up with the poison. Throw in your chinchompers, and I generally overload straight away. And away you go. One last thing I guess I'll talk about is that's my Steel Titan Scrolls teleport to house, and the Holy Wrench. Now the Holy Wrench boosts each dose of prayer. I'm not sure by how much, but it's similar to the Reverence Aura in that each dose of prayer potion that you take heals more prayer, as well as your prayer renewals as well. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think I went a lot longer than I thought, but hope that answers all the questions you guys wanted to know, and any more, just put them in the comments and flame if you want, but haters gonna hate. Oh, and one more thing I'll just say is that to start, there's only 5 skeletons, or 6 once that one spawns, but see, as you can already see, more start coming, and once these start coming, that's when I put on rigour. I know it might seem weird, but I just save some prayer while there's not many attacking me. And over the next couple of minutes or so, they'll end up, a lot will come. And another question you might ask is, eventually there might be burning bones. That's pretty much just to control the number of skeletons that spawn. You can't prevent that, and even if you see it, don't worry, there's still going to be plenty of skeletons there to attack. And yeah, and then it's pretty much just watch your prayer, hope for no crashes, and away you go. Alrighty, see ya.